Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 7, Episode 37 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, think so. How are you doing?
I'm great, Sam. I'm great.
And we are joined by Matthew Winick of Basket Under Review to talk about the 5-5 transfer portal and everything that's been going on in that area of space. This has been the most insane college basketball offseason of our lives.
It has. First, I need to know, when does the season for your show start? So you're episode 37 since when?
It starts the national championship is the season finale. It starts immediately after that.
So this is your 37th show of the offseason?
We've done a lot of team previews this offseason.
That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I mean, we'll get to almost 50
before the offseason. So like 2 a week on average.
Not really, because we kind of cram them in at certain times.
Like if you were to average it out,
yes.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Good for you.
No, it's a lot. But we are here to talk about everything that's going on and everything that might not matter. Like there's a chance that none of this matters.
Yes.
And we're all wasting our time.
I've become more nihilistic every portal ad. Like Dan Skillings was added at Grand Canyon today. I was like, I'm not going to add him to the roster sheet. I'm just going to put him with the question mark, and maybe I'll actually go around degrading him like
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing about this process is we have to be prepared for it mattering. But I'm pretty sure that most of these guys won't be able to play. But like certain players will be able to play. I mean, I'm not a legal expert at all. I just feel like this process is getting too complicated, too fast.
Well, I can try to tell you some things if you'd like, or I can just not bother and you not.
Please, I mean, I don't have a great understanding on why the conferences are.
Yeah, I don't think the conference stuff is.
I do understand why the conferences are doing what they're doing. I don't understand if it makes it like more difficult on the players to have to like go through that route and like fight against the individual conference versus the NCAA as a whole. Like that's what I'm really.
Did I say that? Like, I feel like most of these guys won't be playing. I don't know. I feel like a good portion of them will.
So it seems to me like the conference thing genuinely is just an entire R.J. Lewis, like Charles Bediago thing.
Yeah.
I don't think the conference stuff that's coming out actually affects 5-5 at all.
No.
Because none of them signed E10 contracts. So we're not like dealing with any guys that signed NBA deals and are trying to go back, like the whole LSU football player, Cleveland Brown situation. Mm-hmm. The real question is, all of these lawsuits are getting, well, not all of them, they're starting to get stayed. Like the Colorado Wisney suit got stayed, Ohio and Tennessee have now gotten stayed. And essentially what that means is the NCAA is fighting for the case to go through a new trial, a separate trial. So if the case gets stayed, if the NCAA wins its initial appeal, then they're ineligible until the case gets, taken in front of a court again, which the first step for the Ohio one, I think, is in mid-September. But essentially what the NCAA is going to do is legally try to push this as far down the road as humanly possible, because if they can make it till the end of next season, then they don't need to fight anything because 5-5 is completely legal to them. So Ohio and Tennessee have both been stayed. As far as I'm concerned, none of them have been rejected. The NCAA's, attempt to halt these has not been rejected. So it's just getting taken, to be seen in front of a judge. If they all get stayed, then all of the players in the 5-5s are ineligible unless the court goes through its secondary processing and realizes that they should be eligible. So what's possible is that the court process gets dealt with in like December, and then some of these guys, like maybe Javon Bennett's eligible for, and MJ Collins, both in the Ohio one that got stayed first, maybe they're ineligible and then they become eligible in December. If they choose to wait it out and not go overseas, they probably could join Gonzaga and Cincinnati and for conference play if they really wanted to, but it's one of those things that it's just all down to the courts, and I don't know which teams are going to be willing to wait. I don't know which players are going to be willing to wait, and I don't know how many of these state cases are actually going to make it through the test of time without getting stayed at some point, because the NCAA is going to fight everything.
Yeah, my kind of biggest thing has just been like, people. Well, I've seen a lot of people say like, I can't wait for the season to start so we can be done with all this. That's not what's gonna happen. This is going to be a thing throughout the entire season. So, but what I do I don't really see what would change from a legal standpoint, like from the initial ruling to the appeal. I know the stay kind of prevents the injunction from taking action immediately until the appellate process is complete. But I don't know what legally would be the thing that the appellate courts would rule in favor of the NCAA on. So if that's the case, like, sure, it could take a while, but for a bunch of these, like, you will have to think that we're going to get a bunch of these guys playing college basketball this year.
Yes, but it might not happen in November, and they will all be on different timelines. Like, because they're all filed differently, because they're all, fought at different times and separate, like every different judge, different circuit, whatever it might be. It's gonna it sucks now. It's gonna suck way more when X player is deemed eligible in December and Y player is deemed ineligible in January. Like, it's going to linger into the year. It will not just suddenly be done in September.
Jonathan, I can
good timing, by the way. The ACC just passed its a player ban,
like a RJ Lewis ban.
Yeah, like the same thing that the SEC, Big 10, and Big 12 have all done this week already.
Which, by the way, like, if RJ Lewis has if he beats the NCAA in the case, like, LSU is going to fight the SEC on that, and they're going to win.
Yeah.
Like, that, none of this is going to matter.
It's possible, but in the meantime, the G League guys, the Bryson Warrens, the Dink Pates, the Babacar Sane at St. John's, I believe, should all be ineligible because they're all G League guys. And those are very specifically guys that they do not want in college basketball right now.
Yeah, and then what I would say is, Jonathan, I can already hear us saying, oh, Gonzaga's third in Torvik since Javon Bennett was eligible when we're picking our bracket in March.
It's going to be really weird if, we come to January, we're through non-con play, and we have, essentially like an influx of players coming into these rosters. It would be almost like we're trying to evaluate new teams. Like it would just be super weird. Like, imagine if, like, in years past, like, you had, like, all of a sudden, 8 teams that are, Sweet 16 level, added a new player or got a player back from injury. Like, that's what it's going to be like. It's going to be really hectic to try to evaluate that sort of on the fly.
I mean, we're going to get one of those for real with Texas Tech and JT Toppin. Although I suppose they won't actually be a Final Four threat if Darion Williams and Donovan Atwell and JaMychal Stillwell all can't play. So I guess they're a double question mark in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, they're not close to a threat if those guys can't play. But if they all can, like, Texas Tech is the biggest winner of 5-5, just as a general, like, if this actually comes into play.
I mean, LSU obviously as well. Like, I can't emphasize how good Donovan Dent and Sky Clark are, and how much we don't know it because their big man was Xavier Booker. Like, genuinely, if they had the median Big 10 big man, they're a Sweet 16. They're an Elite 8 Final 14.
I mean, they were not far away from the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And Tyler Bilodeau didn't play.
Yes, no Tyler Bilodeau. Their big man was Xavier Booker, and they still almost made it. And that's not all Mick Cronin. That is Donovan Dent and Sky Clark both being really, 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 really good.
Yeah, I mean, Sky Clark, just his character, one of the best character arcs in college basketball. Just going from this, like, gets, like, kicked off the team or whatever it was at Illinois, plays on that awful Louisville team, and then kind of finds his way at UCLA, quietly becoming one of the best perimeter defenders in the country.
Yeah.
No longer a point guard, now more of an off-ball guard, and he's awesome now. Like, really good character arc. Like, very, very, like, actual, like, movie-style TV show character arc.
I will tell you this. I will not be cheering for LSU this year, but I will be a fan of a Donovan Dent, Sky Clark backcourt should they both be eligible.
Yeah.
This does not apply to like guys who filed for a temporary restraining order, right? Like that's a totally different thing. If
It
you were
is,
granted an
but
injunction.
then you're going down the Charles Bediako path, right? Where it's like you are eligible until you're not. Like you get a restraining order, that's cool. Inevitably,
yeah,
you might not.
Where you could be ineligible literally any day.
Right. Which is why like RJ Lewis probably ends up playing at some point this year. I would be surprised if he plays 0 games. I also would be surprised if he starts and finishes the year out.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because now you've got a lot of people that like after the original Wisney ruling came around, and it's like, all right, now you can all play, and people were guys were starting to commit or return, and they didn't put themselves in any of the other lawsuits, and then the Wisney suit gets stayed, and then they're in limbo, and they can't find another lawsuit to attach themselves to or temporary restraining. And it's just a whole complicated process of, at some point, I would like an answer. The NCAA is not going to give us that opportunity. And I'm not sure if this is a dumb battle to fight for the NCAA because it's costing so much and it's only going to affect 1 year, or if it's a smart battle to fight because it prevents further fights.
I have one question. How bad is Finland in February that people are fighting so hard for this?
I mean, you don't see the sun.
Fair, but like Dan Skillings, I'll use him again. He could absolutely play in Finland and make 6 figures high 6 figures, mid 6 figures. Is it that bad? He's going to for-profit university to be the 8th man and probably make slightly more than that. Is Finland that bad?
I mean, your 400K goes a lot further in Finland than it does in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably rather never see the sun than live in Phoenix, but that's just me.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know. I've never been, so sorry for trashing Phoenix, but it doesn't.
I have.
You are Canadian, so like.
Yeah.
Fair.
But all right, LSU obviously big winner from all of this.
Yeah.
I'm under the thought process at this point that LSU is just gonna have like a rotating cast of characters game by game. There will be games like I'm really rooting for the game where like they have to start Amir Khan because everyone is ineligible.
I mean, I'd rather have Amir Khan than Austin Nunez. Not actually, but like jokingly, yes.
But it's just the whole idea that, like, there's a chance here that, like, even after this whole thing happens, that LSU still ends up being a disaster. But other winners, I mean, Texas Tech, Darion Williams was one of the best players in the country when he was at Texas Tech. Jermichael Stillwell gives them, I mean, he's not awesome, but he's a high major 5-man. And then Donovan Atwell, I mean, that gives you some like 2 with size or shooting 3. And then when Toppin comes back, you have just an awesome starting 5. And goes a little deeper, I think, than that too, because you'll get Demarion Dennis off the bench, and one of your guards will come off the bench too between Davis and Gibbs Lawhorn. So they look really, really good if this holds up. I mean, we know how good Darion Williams is in that system.
Yeah, I think that, getting Dre Gibbs Lawhorn as your 10th man is probably much better than getting him as your 6th man. Just, for the ups and downs he's had in his career. I would have Texas Tech 5th in the country once JT Toppin comes back. Just behind, obviously Florida, Duke, Illinois, UConn. Feel like those are pretty standard top 4 picks. I'd have them 5th. I don't see why not. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of concern of Toppin coming back from injury, of Darion Williams not really being good at all at NC State. But of course, good in the system, good with Toppin. Atwell's a beast. I guess my only question would be and I know that, Cruz Davis coming from the mid-major level, like you guys have covered him extensively, but I'm not 100% certain that Cruz Davis could be a point guard on the top 5 team. And other than that, I don't have any concerns.
I mean, that's fair, but like, was Cruz Davis at Hofstra last year worse than Xavier Lee at Princeton?
Possible, but also I don't think that Xavier Lee could ever be the point guard on a bottom 100 offense. which Cruz Davis was. And I know that I'm holding
that team was a total disaster for reasons that were not Cruz Davis.
Fair, but he was still the highest used, most minutes player on a sub 300 offense. And I kind of can't get out of that. It's just stuck in my head a little bit. It's hard for me to get out.
I mean, I watched that team a couple times too many, and I get it. I get it. But then I also watched him this year, and it's like, yeah, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Preston Edmead's awesome too. I think he's going to be so good. But another winner for me is BYU. Just that roster was really, really kind of incomplete. With Rob Wright, Colin Chandler, Bruce Branch, you have your scorers. They straight up did not have a 5-man. They had a bunch of 4s that like you could try and pigeonhole into a 5, but I don't think you could cobble 40 minutes together out of it. And now you just go out there and add one of the best 5-men in the country in Jackson Kohler, who like apparently was practicing with them throughout the summer, kind of in anticipation of this, which, I mean, we know how good Jackson Kohler was. Definitely a different offensive system, but he can spread the floor. He can shoot it. Like I'm not worried about kind of that part of his game. It's just more of the way that BYU plays versus the way Michigan State plays. It's very different. But I also think that Kohler is experienced and smart and has a skill set that is easy to transport in terms of he's physical on the glass. He can step out and hit a 3, and he's just an awesome defender.
I got a stat for you.
Go ahead.
People have been saying Jackson Kohler's not a 5. He's a 4 because he played the 4 at Michigan State. Here's the Michigan State on-off numbers. Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper. Together, plus 16 per 100 possessions. It's 93rd percentile. Just Cooper. That's plus 6.9 per 100 possessions. It's a 76th percentile ranking. Kohler, no Cooper, a.k.a. Kohler at the 5. Plus 32.6 points per 100 possessions, 100th percentile net rating. In a 340-minute sample size, Michigan State was the best team in the country with Jackson Kohler at the 5 and Carson Cooper on the bench.
Trying to make this about Cam Ward, but whatever.
Even if it's about Cam Ward or if it's about Jordan Scott, that's fine. Those were minutes where Jackson Kohler was the 5-man and Carson Cooper's on the bench.
Yeah, I like Kohler a lot. I also like Ward and Scott. And I like.
Yeah. I think even if you have counter arguments to the stat that Matthew just threw out, like in BYU's case, they just needed someone who could play the 5. They had like nobody on their roster that could, and Kohler can't.
Remember, I mean, even if Kohler was on the plus 6 side of this stat, like it still would have been a good addition.
Yeah.
Remember, people thought that Jakob Urbaniak was the answer at the 5 that 2-week span. Fun times.
I mean, I don't think anyone actually thought that. Maybe they told themselves that.
I don't know. There were people that were telling me that he was the answer to the 5. I'm like, he didn't even play the 5 in Europe. He's not a big man.
I mean, Texas Tech got like some random international guy like that. People were like, "Oh, he's gonna be the 5," and no, he's not. Like Jermichael Stillwell's their 5.
Yeah, I mean that Texas Tech guy, I think like was supposed to be an NBA draft pick like 4 years ago, and then he tore his ACL. Like he actually has pedigree. I don't think Jakob Urbaniak has pedigree. No offense.
Yeah. I would say BYU big winner by getting Jackson Kohler in the mix. Arizona big winner for getting RJ Godfrey. Something that I've been saying, and Jonathan, we talked about this with Kevin Thomas, was like last year their top 7 was awesome. This year, like if you went into the season without Godfrey, like their top 4 would be awesome, but like their 5, 6, 7 would all be worse than their 7th guy last year. And you can't really play that short rotation if your 5, 6, 7 isn't also really, really good. Now, still like the 6, 7, 8, like there's questions you can have about Holmes and the Nebraska transfer whose name I don't want to try.
Ugnis Yarosevicius.
Ugnis, but Godfrey just fills the hole at the 4, allows Karchenkov to play at the 3, a more natural position for him. And man, Karchenkov was a man just unbelievable on their foreign trip. Like he might end up being my pick for like Big 12 Player of the Year, just because.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved him last year, and I feel like on this trip he showed so much more to his game, and he's going to be allowed to do that this year. That I'm not sure would be the case if they ended up having to play him at the 4. And I know he probably I didn't see the whole thing, but he definitely played some 4 over there. But I think that freeing him up to play the 3 is what this does. And for Godfrey, just having a physical, experienced presence. That's the big thing you're getting with these guys. You're getting physical, experienced presences. Like the teams that are like adding, I mean, LSU aside, the teams that are adding like their point guards through this, like that's not something that I really like. Because I mean, I guess like Gonzaga with Javon Bennett, like he's like that makes sense. I still like they're definitely a lot worse than they were with Saint Superi, but the teams that I think benefit the most from this are either like the continuity plays with like MJ Collins at Cincinnati, Denzel Aberdeen at Florida, or the guys that are just like adding the physicality and experience to the rosters.
I think in Arizona's case, like the depth thing was a little overblown. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd rather they have Godfrey than not, just because I think they needed a 4. But like this was a team that was the number 2 team in the country last year, and they were 279th in bench minutes. Like, I don't really care, how great, your backup for Mo Krivas and Ivan Karchenkov are. Like, those guys should be on the floor most of the game for you.
It's true. I mean, they did start Bryce James in Europe. Of course, they were down JJ Mandicott and RJ Godfrey. I don't think Bryce James is actually going to play. He wasn't awful, actually, let it be known. But yeah, Karchenkov is going to be on an All-American team of mine, I think. I think he's better than I think he'll have a better year than Krivas. Of course, it's subjective because Krivas is such a good defender. But yeah, Karchenkov's taken the leap, and he will be allowed to take that leap, especially on ball, because of Godfrey's presence at the 4 and the rim pressure. And he really does have a similar game to Koa Pete. He's obviously not as flashy, not as good of a vertical athlete, but yeah, it's filling the similar style of role that clearly worked in a starting lineup next to Krivas and Karchenko.
I would say another team that got physical experience in the front court at a spot where they really needed it and turned it into a winner, and they also added another guy, would be Oklahoma with Duke Brennan and BJ Edwards. If those guys are able to play, I think like that rockets their stock up for me. They did not really have the center spot in a good spot at all. Duke Brennan gives them a proven high major center. Jonathan, you can say what you want about Villanova's team identity of rebounding, struggling in Big East play and whatever, but like he's better than what they had by a good margin. And BJ Edwards too kind of gives them a little bit of a little bit more kind of all around skill set in the backcourt, because Xavier Brown and Pop Isaacs, there are things that those guys don't do.
Yeah, I think that in Oklahoma's case, like Kai Rogers being a starting center in the SEC was not great, but now like with Brennan, obviously you have a proven player there, and I think that Oklahoma's a team that was probably okay with the guards they have, but Edwards, is another guy who can score for them, and that's kind of been the identity for a lot of these Oklahoma teams is like guards that can penetrate and create their own shot. So I think that, having another guy in the mix, when you have Pop Isaacs is never a bad thing because he can shoot you out of a game in a hurry. So, yeah, like hopefully in their case, those guys get eligible. I would definitely say that Brennan's the more important addition for them, though.
Yeah.
I think both are important. I love BJ Edwards. He's in the Sky Clark vein. I think he's a better defender or a shooter, but someone who is not a point guard, so he doesn't get the love that point guards do. He played next to Buki Miller, who's much more of a flashy on-ball guy, but he defends. He's a good, efficient passer. He hits open shots. He's just someone I want on my team next to guys that are proven good. And Xavier Brown is obviously a clear starting point guard in the SEC, was really solid last year next to Nigel Pack. And then Pop Isaacs as that third guard, I think makes a lot more sense than as a second guard. So I would say that assuming Edwards finds a way to get eligible after that Tennessee injunction was stayed, he'll be a huge piece too. But yeah, like the bottom of the SEC had really bad starting centers for a while. And by Oklahoma getting a real starting center, they very much made it clear that they are not going to be a bottom of the SEC team. They are not Ole Miss starting Santiago Truitt, which is a disgrace. And they are not South Carolina, because South Carolina is a disgrace in a different way. They're going to be middle of the pack at worst, I'd say. And you can't find much of a safer floor big man than Duke Brennan. He's just been really steady now 2 years in a row in college basketball.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, just, to finish the touch on that, like, I think if you played the game of, like, you go through the SEC centers and who would you rather have, Duke Brennan or Axe? Like, a lot of these guys, you'd probably rather have Duke Brennan. Like, I know for sure, like, as a Missouri fan, I would take Duke Brennan over Jalen Carey, like, or whoever Mizzou decides to throw out there. Like, ND Okafor, just like James Scott's good, but, like, some of these guys, like, in the bottom half of the league are really concerning for these teams.
I only have 4 centers in the SEC ranked higher than Duke Brennan.
Chinyalu.
Yeah.
Moreno. And then personal choice, Burke, Buick, Michelle. But you could go either way.
Okay, yeah. I again, like, my thing about this was, Jonathan, I talked last year about how the SEC was soft in the front court, and it kind of allowed Florida to cut through like butter, because they were the physical team. They were the team that had the physical front court. And I still think there's like a lingering effect of that, but I think that, Oklahoma was one of those teams that just, they didn't have it. And Brennan, now they have it. They have somebody that provides some level of threat of physicality, rebounding, and a little bit of defense in the post. And I think that's important in the SEC for these guys to get those, for these teams to get that.
Bryson Warren just entered the portal.
Who just entered the portal?
Bryson Warren.
I mean, the SEC is not going to budge. It sucks for Bryson Warren that RJ Lewis wants to play in the SEC. Because I think that if RJ Lewis wanted to play in the Big Ten, Bryson Warren is probably still a Texas A&M.
Yeah. And then it's kind of the other thing. It's just kind of expanding on something I said earlier about the team, about the types of players that I think make sense now. It's the portable guys. It's the guys that it doesn't really matter what like who has the ball in their hands. It doesn't really matter whether it's just like, do you have a clear, easy role, or are you this complex player that needs kind of a team built around them? And at this time of year, I mean, like, even RJ Lewis to an extent is like, he's kind of a unique-ish player that, like, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about. Like, LSU has so much talent, but, like, the fit is a little janky, I feel. But what I would say is the big men that are just like physical rebounders, the shooters, the kind of wing defenders, the foremen that are physical, like, those are such easy guys that you can plug in whenever. And I like the teams that are doing that. And I think it's why you're seeing, Doug McDaniel is struggling to find a place to play, it seems like, because he hasn't committed anywhere. Like a bunch of these point guards, have not found their place to play. Like, the guards, as a general rule, have not committed as much as the bigs have, except for kind of more off-ball guards. Malik Messina Moore, Seth Trimble. Those guys don't need the ball in their hands all the time.
I think there's a lot of reasons that Doug McDaniel probably hasn't found a place.
Yeah, but I think at the crux of it is the way he plays. Mo Odom, like another guy that needs the ball in his hands.
Yeah, Doug is played for 3 schools. 2 of the coaches have been fired, and the third one probably should have been fired already.
Yeah, he's just one step above being Tyler Johnson at this point. Which, don't get me started on Tyler Johnson getting every coach he's ever had fired, except for Steve Forbes, and that might just be 1 year removed.
Nobody will ever beat Sean Gordon at this.
I was going to say the same thing, Sam.
Who, by the way, still has me blocked on Twitter.
He had that. What was it? Was it Siena, where it was just like Michael Ealy and Sean Gordon just like randomly popping up and being the best player ever, but the team being absolutely total garbage?
It was Michael Ealy and Sean Gordon randomly deciding to make shots every once in a while, but mostly not making shots. And the rest of the team was total garbage. But hey, Giovanni Amajuru was on that team.
I think I saw Michael Ealy in a 5-5 injunction, right?
Get out, man! I'm done.
I feel like I saw him in one of those at some point. I mean, he was really bad at Hampton. I mean, he had a high offensive rating. He had 43 points in the game, randomly, but he wasn't good.
No, I mean, he was like the worst rookie of the year that we had in a while.
He actually was just granted eligibility 8 days ago. So yeah.
So I guess I'm reading this Bryson Warren stuff right now, and I guess like he signed multiple Exhibit 10 deals with the Heat and the Knicks because he played in the G League, but like he also was granted a TRO, so like
yeah, he could go to a conference that won't have a rule, but the thing is, all the power conferences are going to have something. So he's either going to have to go to Grand Canyon or back to the G League.
Bryson Warren, you are the Ohio Valley Player of the Year.
Unless he's just like so obsessed with playing college basketball.
If State could probably find $3 million somewhere.
Has the Big East had one of these rules put in place, guys?
They're like meeting about it.
Okay.
If he can't go P5, then I mean maybe Gonzaga grabs him if the Pac-12 does nothing because they don't get one of the Euros eligible. Like I don't know, probably not.
I mean, I would also just kind of looking at some more names that have committed. Jordan Pope to Texas A&M, kind of their insurance policy on the Bryson Warren thing,
which they needed. Yeah,
they really needed it. I think
might need an insurance policy on the insurance policy, from what it sounds like.
AJ Storr to UNLV is, I mean, the most perfect fit in college basketball history.
No, AJ Storr of Memphis would have been the most perfect fit. But UNLV
no. Like that would almost be too perfect.
On the most recent Weekend Under Review show I did with Brian Ralph, we were talking about 5-5 guys that were interesting, and he mentioned AJ Storr, and I fought with him. I said, you cannot say that. AJ Storr sucks. He actually wasn't really that good at Wisconsin. And he was particularly awful at Kansas, and then just as awful at Ole Miss from an on-off perspective, but because he scored more points, because he took more shots, he got better. He didn't. He's not good. UNLV did not get any better by adding AJ Storr. In fact, they might have gotten worse because he is not going to be a net positive contributor to their team, and they were already pretty talented.
And he was good in the SEC tournament, which is the first time everyone had watched Ole Miss since like November.
I was watching Ole Miss because they were hate watch because they were the most disgusting team I watched play college basketball. They had like the third, only Mississippi Valley State had a worse shot profile per shot quality than Ole Miss did last year.
That's good company.
Not Rider.
Yeah. Pardon?
Were they worse than Rider in shot?
Yes, but Rider was in the bottom. It was like the bottom five was like Rider, Mississippi Valley State, Louisiana Monroe, Houston, and Ole Miss. But like Houston, it's okay.
Houston gets every rebound.
Ole Miss does. I mean, it's mostly a Malik Diaz stat, but either way, it was still an absolutely gross watch.
All right. Couple guys going back to their schools. Kenyon Giles, Brennan Lorient. Those are kind of the two. Terrence Ginyard as well. Obviously, he's in the Tennessee case, so it's been stayed at the moment. But I think those are all pretty significant boosts for those teams.
Yeah.
If West Virginia has both Lorient and Buchanan eligible, I'm really in on them.
Their bench is still bad, though, and it still requires Joe Salmon playing 25 minutes a game.
That's true.
I do like Miles Sadler a lot, and I actually really like Finley Bisjack, especially offensively. Lorient and Buchanan is fun, although Buchanan took a massive step back as a senior versus his junior year at Boise State, which kind of worries me. And then there's just no proven bench production. And it also doesn't really fit Ross Hodge. But I like the top of their roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think the potential is there for this to be a good basketball team. I believe in Ross Hodge. I love the backcourt, Sadler, Bisjack, and I'm a big Martin Somerville guy.
Yeah.
And then Lorient, I mean, would come in and, I mean, the Big 12 has too many teams for him to be an all Big 12 guy. But, like, he's up there in the conversation for like your honorable mentions, all Big 12.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon just added Trey Holloman.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, what is going on over there?
Okay, they obviously have injuries. And okay, so Amarian Dickerson didn't play.
Dylan Darling is getting
Dylan Darling's getting $3 million to play there.
Let's try to figure this out. So Amarian Dickerson didn't play in their Canada tour. So maybe something's up with him.
That would explain Henley.
Yes, okay, that might explain Henley, or Henley was just the ad, and that might explain Skillings. Maybe they wanted. I mean, they don't really have a third guard outside of Makai Williams and Dylan Darling, so I guess Holloman's their third guard. Maybe Jaden Zimmerman's not.
They have Jaden Zimmerman.
You're not that good.
Definitely a third guard though.
I guess maybe he's more of a fourth guard.
Like he can score.
If Dickerson's not playing, I kind of understand it more. I already didn't understand why did Tyler Barron go there? He's awesome, and they already have Demeril, their other big man, and Barron's way better. They have like a 12-man rotation, and New Mexico has no big man, and I'll probably still pick New Mexico.
I feel like I'm getting to the point where with Grand Canyon where like the roster is actually too good for me to think this team is going to win something.
Yeah.
Like there's like something is clearly wrong here.
Yeah, you cannot have the amount of players they have, the amount of money they have if there was not. And also like their roster was already so good. Why did they need to add 2 5-and-5 guys today? Like, yeah, it's extremely suspect for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Dylan Darling was a really good player in the Big Sky when he was able to get to the line and draw fouls and kind of touch paint every time. He was decent in the Big East. He had big moments, but he was decent in the Big East. I mean, maybe he's not close to worth $2.5 million or whatever it is he's making, and they need Trey Holloman in that spot. And
maybe they're going to take the Dennis Gates method. Everyone plays at the beginning of the year, and we'll figure it out.
I have no idea.
They'll play better defense than those Dennis Gates.
Probably.
I do like Trey Holloman.
Yeah,
I do like him.
Yeah,
it's crazy how stubborn Tom Izzo is being about this whole 5-and-5 thing.
I think they knew they weren't getting Kohler back, and Cooper had already signed a 2-way.
But Holloman was living in East Lansing right now. They really didn't want to add him.
They have a point guard.
Well, they could play together.
Have two.
They have a 2-guard.
Yeah, but they could have played. He would have helped.
I mean, Izzo went the entire Mac Jones Patriots era without taking a single transfer. So
fair.
Yeah, I don't think it's that surprising that the guy that doesn't want transfers to be able to exist won't take a 5-and-5 guy.
I mean, and then the first transfer he took after that was Frankie Fiddler.
I forgot.
And then he took Caleb Glenn, who didn't play all year because he got hurt.
Well, now he can play. Now
he's got Bonky.
Yeah, a couple other ones that I liked. Trayson Eaglestaff to UC San Diego. I mean, this UC San Diego team is going to be the best team in that conference.
Who needs a big man?
I mean, they need a. You mentioned this to me. Both of the Olin Tree teams are saying screw the big man spot, but
completely screw it. No big man to speak of at all.
I just love this. The group of Eaglestaff, Leo Beath, Chaikin. I like Cade Dotson in this league as well. Tom Beattie. I just think this is a team that, and they're well coached. They have what it takes to win this league, no doubt. And Eaglestaff, I mean, if he's healthy and playing at his best, that's the player of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
really.
UC San Diego got as high as 83rd in KenPom last year, and then they just completely stopped hitting shots. Emmanuel Prosper, their 6'5" point guard, got injured, and they never figured it out from there. But they were a legit top 100 team, and they're way more talented this year.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was no hype the year they were the top 50, top 40 in KenPom. There was no hype for them at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And this team is going to be awesome.
I'm really sad they lost Tyson Dunn because I love Tyson Dunn and he's one of my favorite Canadians. And I don't know what happened there, but I'm sad that he's not on the roster.
I would rather have Eagle staff than Dunn.
I know, but I can still be sad about it.
Yeah, you can be sad about losing the Canadians, the great Canadians in our. I mean, you lost a big lake today, so.
Yes.
Anyway, a couple other mid-major ones. Benny Gieler to UIC gives them a shooter. Cooper Nord to Samford, which is just so awesome.
That might be my favorite one.
It's got to be up there for me.
Match made in heaven.
Okay, if they have a big man, because I don't think it's Will Shaver. If they have a big man, they're going to be amazing. They added a D2 guard, Brandon Fussell. I'm not sure how to say his last name. He is, where is he in my D2 rankings? He's number 9 in my D2 rankings. They bring back a Norris, probably the best Norris, I think, Cade. And then you add in Cooper Nord, who's just a beast, and such a SoCon player too, such a Lenny Acuff player. If they have a big for that system, obviously no Dylan Faulkner, but if they have a big, they're winning the SoCon.
I mean, Cooper Nord could be a player of the year type guy in that league.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, just straight up. I mean, Elijah Mahi back to Santa Clara, Asim Jones back to Quinnipiac.
both technically ineligible, I think.
Yes, at the moment, that is correct. You've got Trey Campbell to Utah. When I saw that notification, I was like, wait, Utah? I thought that I was like, Utah, that's got to be Utah State, right?
Okay, but Dallin Hall's better than Trey Campbell. Dallin Hall going to Utah State.
Yes, but my assumption was originally, he's just going to follow. But now it's very important because Noam Yakov can't play. But that's a pretty significant downgrade to go from Yakov to Campbell.
And Campbell also technically ineligible right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be a disaster.
Yeah, if they have no Yakov, I mean, if they're starting Obamot Abbey as their starting point guard, who, speaking of, it has escaped Finland winters to go be in Salt Lake City. So good for him.
I do like Dallin Hall to Utah State, though.
He's so good. He's really good,
especially at that level. Like,
I think this roster is just like very good if these guys are eligible.
Dallin Hall and Notre Dame's Braden Smith are two of the most underrated players in the country because they got passed on the depth chart by a dynamic, amazing freshman. It's like, we're not talking about Dallin Hall because Chance Mallory is more fun and was a little bit better. And we're not talking about Braden Smith, the non-Purdue one, because Mario Saint-Superi is just like amazing. But both of them didn't lose their job because they were bad. They just happened to be playing with amazing freshman point guards.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about Braden Smith since his freshman year at Colgate, so
he's going to be really good. I think Micah Shrewsbury is going to have his best year.
I'm a little concerned about their defense, but like,
who needs to play defense?
But like, I do think cutting bait with Marcus Burton was the right decision.
100%.
Even if they didn't cut bait and he actually got like a huge raise, but I think Indiana should cut bait with him right now and just like find a new point guard. But
I mean, he's not a point guard.
Exactly.
He's just a small shooting guard.
Yep. Some other ones that are out there right now. Amari Monroe to Syracuse, again, currently not eligible. Wasn't the thing that I would have thought Syracuse would have brought in. Like, you'd think that point guard would kind of be point guard or like some shooting would kind of be the default. But I mean, you just kind of have to get the guys you get, and experienced, talented, athletic, fits the mold of what this team is, and like has familiarity with the coaching staff because they coached against him at Siena. So I like it. I don't know if it's like I'm a little concerned about what it might say about Sadiq White.
Yeah, I mean, at least like they're sticking to an identity. They're going to be huge and switchable and awesome on D. If anything, like obviously they're different positions. Every player they add means less minutes for Kyan Anthony, which is a huge win because Kyan Anthony was the worst player in the ACC last year. Like if you just go by advanced analytics stats. And so I would be more of a Syracuse fan if Kai and Anthony didn't play. And I understand there's politics involved that go beyond basketball, but anybody to add rotation minutes away from Kai and Anthony is a win for me.
Jonathan, any thoughts on that one?
Dude, I want to see I want to see them try a Mac All-Star lineup. Because if you count Mesh, because he was committed to Siena, they could do it.
Yeah, I mean they absolutely could.
I also like Garway Dual. He's good.
Yeah, he's good. It not necessarily gonna give you a ton of offense from that spot, but will defend.
As long as he's not punching people, we're okay.
Yeah, Keyshawn Hall to St. John's. It's this could work. It probably won't.
No.
I was already concerned about Donnie Freeman there, and then he gets hurt, and then it's the replacement is Keyshawn Hall, and I'm like,
I was so worried about how awful a passing 2-3-4 of Tunde Yesufu, Ian Jackson, and Donnie Freeman would be, and how lackadaisical they are on defense. And then they added someone who is both a worse passer and a worse defender than Donnie Freeman. They tripled down on Rick Pitino can clean up any mess, because I couldn't hate the makeup of Ian Jackson, Tunde Yesufu, and Keyshawn Hall more if I tried. They are definition of talented, not winning players. And three of them together, it's not going to work. I don't care how good Rick Pitino is. I don't think it's going to work.
I think he can fix Yesufu. I think that's all there.
But
I think Jackson can
with the other two.
I think Jackson can score. The defense is still a problem.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah, and Hall can really score. Hall's a ridiculous scorer.
I don't think that it's outside of the fit in general. What is so appealing about Keyshawn Hall at this point? He's been kicked off or left 3 teams early. And
he was awful in the summer league. He was horrible in the summer league.
Yeah,
can we just move past him, please?
There was Van Allen Lubin back to NC State.
Real quick, Sam, before you move on to the next one, I'm a big fan of the if you look at the burner ball depth chart, St. John roster, just their entire 4 spot is listed in purple because we don't know if any of them are going to be eligible.
Oh, I forgot they got Reed Bailey too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Van Allen Lubin back to NC State. Thought I would hate this a lot more, but I actually kind of dig it. It's just get a guy in there to give you some insurance for Evans.
I love it.
Lubin is not a good defender. We know this, but he can give you the minutes that Evans won't.
Yep. I don't think you could go into a year needing Kyle Evans to be a 25 to 30 minute per game ACC center. And I think Lubin is better than Evans in a vacuum. I think they can play together in stretches because Lubin has amazing touch.
And the shooting in the backcourt is just so good too.
Yeah, and the backcourt's so good. The 1-2-3 was already offensive leaning, was already an awesome stylistic fit. And so you just get a guy that finishes everything at the rim next to those 3. You'll be the 100th best defense in the country, but you'll be a top 15 offense, and that's good enough to make the tournament easily.
Yeah, it's 3 high volume 40% shooters on NCAA tournament teams.
Yeah,
that they're going to shoot the crap out of it. I don't really get how it works with Justin Gainey because you'd think Tennessee system, but who knows? The Kim English tree does the Rick Barnes tree. The Rick Barnes tree does not have a great report card, namely Kim English.
Yeah.
Is the Kim English tree the second worst tree behind the Kawhi Leonard tree?
Hey, that's future Toronto Raptor Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
I mean, should technically be current Toronto Raptor, if not for,
trees.
Also former Toronto Raptor.
Also true.
Terrence Ginyard back to Duquesne, if he's eligible, is just so fun.
I mean, they need him, and even still.
Him next to Pasha works, I think.
It does. I wish they had any bench. The fact that they needed Ginyard to fill out a starting five is concerning. I like their starting five. I think it fits if Conan and Demir are good. The bench is so bad. It's just hard for me to expect them, especially with the coach that I don't necessarily trust. It's still hard for me to expect them to be like anything better than middle.
I mean, you're out on the Jewish Jordan.
He can't play on Saturday.
Yeah. I don't know how that's a take in a league that plays like half of their league games on Saturday.
It's Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it's not like
the biggest games are Friday night.
Yeah, he's not playing in any ESPN2 game. He's not.
Duquesne's probably not playing in any ESPN2 game.
Fair. He's not playing in any. They have
USA Network
30. What is that like?
USA.
Yeah, USA Network. He's not playing the USA Network game.
Do you get USA Network in Canada?
No, I don't get any of these. I just get them in America now. Like, if I have to move back to Canada, I don't even know how I'm going to watch these games. Like, YouTube TV saved me. My computer will blow up from illegal streaming sites if I have to move back to Canada.
Yeah, I would say just a couple other names. And anyone want to throw out any other names that you like that have already committed? Malik Casino Moore, Illinois State.
Yeah, he doesn't add to their lack of athleticism. Let's see what we got here.
Trimble at Louisville.
Pardon?
Trimble at Louisville.
Yeah, helps the rim pressure. Clearly a John Andrzejak ad, which I really like. I think he's going to help Pat Kelsey so much.
Yeah.
If Ring Malith is eligible for Belmont, that'll be huge because they need the depth. He's really good. He's currently ineligible. I'd love to see him on Belmont. I think he'd make them, probably number 2 in Missouri Valley behind Murray State if he's eligible.
Jonathan, anyone else that you want to call out?
We discussed Geeler a little already, so not. I don't think I have anyone else. Like the Malik. I echo Winick's thought that Belmont's probably the second best team in the Valley if Malik is eligible.
I'm trying to find like the graphic of like that the Field of 68 made for
Nick
like
Townsend, Stanford.
Oh yeah, I got that one. Stanford's good. Like Stanford's gonna be good.
They need 2 freshmen to like really pop. I've heard Elias Obenya is really good. Aziz Olajuwon I've heard hit and miss on, but like he seems like a good 3-and-D low usage wing who hits shots. I don't really know what the pecking order of like Aiden Kamen, Austin Maurer, and Nick Townsend is, but Kyle Smith will figure it out. Those are 3 really good front court players, unique front court players, guys that make sense together. I'm personally president of the Christian Bliss fan club. I just think that you throw out a lot of the advanced analytics because he played literally every minute at Delaware. I would turn their games on and be like, how are they within 3 points of Kennesaw State right now when Kennesaw State's dunking all over them and this Delaware is just Christian Bliss for 58 possessions. He's going to be really good.
Yeah, and like Julius Price is awesome.
Yeah, so. And if that's their 3rd best freshman, then yeah, they're going to be very good.
No, that's their best freshman.
That's their best freshman.
I think it's going to be.
Okay. I mean, he's their 4th highest ranked one. Obviously, that's 24/7 Sports, but good to know.
Yeah, he's great. Just a couple other names that like are not committed anywhere, but have Vince Iwuchukwu to Georgetown today. That's big for Georgetown.
You don't want to talk about JJ Starling?
Definitely don't. Have officially ended my relationship with watching him play basketball and will never do it again. A couple other names that I think are interesting, and if they end up playing, Tavion Banks, Deshaun Gittins, who I thought was Sacred Heart's best player last year. I mean, we haven't even gotten into Mark Mitchell, and I don't want to even get started there.
I like him.
I mean, the situation that they've got going on in Kentucky seems to go well beyond the scope of this college basketball podcast. Or maybe Matt Jones has just tweeted about it too many times.
Dude, the entire fan base is just fighting with Mizzou fans on Twitter. It's awesome.
There's Alonzo Dodd is an interesting one. I think. Ohio got Jackson Pavlovetsky back. That backcourt's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Can I just say something?
What?
They might be the worst defensive team
Oh, they might.
of like MAC history.
I mean, Kyler DiAgostino, Colton Mitchell, and Jackson Pavletsky.
And Javen Simmons. I mean, any team with Javen Simmons on it is automatically a candidate for the worst defense in MAC history. I mean, he was the starting center on probably the current worst defense in MAC history, which was Toledo 2 years ago, who was 356. Okay, they won't be worse than Toledo is the bottom 10 defense in the country. But Ohio was threatening.
They were like 40th in offense, right?
They were 84th in offense. That was the year they were bad. The year when they were actually good, they were 5th in offense, 95th in defense. But yeah, they just don't. They're not going to play defense. I also am not the biggest Jackson Pavletsky fan, but
I think he's good, and I like that backcourt in that league is so electric.
They will not win the MAC, but
they won't. But they will be fun. They'll win the MAC in our hearts.
They're a great league pass team.
Yes,
I prefer Kent State.
As long as they don't like go 27-0, Jonathan will love watching Ohio next year.
Kent State. Speaking of the MAC, Kent State added Fordham legend Christian Henry.
So I did see that. What were you saying, Jonathan?
First of all, I'd be fine if they were 27-0 if they weren't winning every game on like miracles. Second of all, I agree. Kent State, I think, is the best team in the MAC and is going.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Yeah.
Logan Adams has been telling me about international guy that Ohio got that he thinks is good, but I don't know. Who knows?
Also, if Kent State makes the tournament, we get to hear Kevin Harlan or someone of that nature talk about God's love Noah Bude as their starting center, and I need that. I really want that.
All right. Anything else before we go?
I think you have to end it on a God's love Noah Bude.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Yeah, if you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place.
Might be eligible for another year.
Yeah, maybe. We don't know. If you came to hear about Kim English's tree, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been Season 7, Episode 37 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers, and we'll see you next time.